welcome to ThreatTraq Essentials. I'm here with John Hogaboom. We're going to talk about some everyday lessons we can learn about cybersecurity from this week's ThreatTraq stories. How you doing, John?
Good, thanks, Ben.
Great to have you here. Let's talk about the story you brought to us, which was about some malware that's being distributed in an interesting way. It's almost like hackers going after hackers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It actually is a case where hackers are attacking other hackers that are, both of them are engaged in stealing cryptocurrency. The way they're distributing this malware, though, is by Trojanizing other hacking tools. So instead of making it look like it's part of a legitimate piece of software that they've Trojanized, they're Trojanizing hacking tools and then distributing those to other bad actors. And then they, the guys distributing those can, steal money from those other criminals.
For those of us who are not bad actors, what lessons can we draw from this story?
Well, I mean, the one lesson that kind of has a corollary with other types of malware out there, particularly with cryptocurrency, is they're reusing a tactic that we've seen before. So the way this malware works is if you go to copy and paste a Bitcoin wallet address from one place to another to send money, the malware replaces the clipboard with their wallet address so that they get the money instead of who you intended to send it to. So we've seen that with other cryptocurrency malware, so that's something to be aware of. Whenever you're engaged in cryptocurrency transactions, make sure that the wallet address that you're pasting into a box, like wherever it is that you might be transferring money, Coinbase or whatever, that it's actually, compares and matches with what you expect it to be, which I know can be a little tricky because they're very long, cryptic, types of addresses.
Now, Bindu brought us a story about a malware campaign that's abusing some popular collaboration tools. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. Bindu brought a story about the Bazaar Loader malware, which is being distributed, mostly through phishing types of, channels. So they're sending, phishing emails that have various types of subject matter in them. And one of the interesting angles of it is oftentimes in the subject of the email, it will say, I tried to reach you, please call me back at this phone number, and they'll actually try to have the user call them back. And if they do, that actually is the scammer on the other end of the line, working against them. It's not a real person. And a lot of people tend to think that when it's on the phone and a computer combined, that it's probably more legitimate, I guess, but they shouldn't, jump to that conclusion.
So what advice can we give people to avoid scams like this?
Well, I mean, for sure, the basic advice we give people all the time, be very wary of any emails that you get, especially ones that are unexpected and that have links on it. Always be very careful about clicking on any links, especially an unsolicited email that you received, and verify that it's authentic because, that's basically going to lead you down this path. In addition, don't always assume that just because there's a phone number in there and then another person answers the phone on the other end that it's a real a legitimate person. So you should be wary of that. There are some indications that Bindu is looking at that they might pivot to ransomware with this as well, which kind of ups the game, in my opinion, in terms of the risk factor. But in general, all phishing is something that you want to be careful about when you're, using your email and even browsing in general. You just don't want to browse to places that are suspicious in nature.
And finally, Jim brought us a story about some security improvements to Firefox.
Right. Jim actually brought an interesting article. Firefox is going to release in their next release of the browser to, in the window.name property of the object model, you used to be able to pass information from one domain to another. So like one page could populate that and then the next page could read it. So they could kind of share data back and forth. So I guess they were using that a lot, probably mostly for advertising types of things or even maybe quick fraud, where they might populate that with the person's email address so that the next page can read it. So, there is the same origin policy in browsers that you can only load content from the same website that you received the original web page from. So this allows, advertisers and whatnot to kind of subvert that channel. So this is a good change to the browser to, help increase the privacy of the browser so that data isn't leaked between domains and websites that you go to. And it sounds like Chrome as well, the Chromium and Safari are also looking into adding this as well. We're basically removing it so you can't do it anymore. So that'll be a good thing in terms of privacy.
So that's another great reason to always keep your browser updated, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You should always keep your browser up to date. Some browsers like Chrome are very good about automatically updating, and Firefox, they all make it very easy nowadays. So I would highly recommend that. And also keep your ear to the ground, because a lot of times there'll be these zero-day vulnerabilities in certain browsers, and you'll want to make sure that you get that latest update as quick as possible before you get back onto the web surfing things in case people are actually exploiting that vulnerability. It's rare, but it's good to update your browser on a regular basis.
Well, great. Thanks for that great insight and advice, John. And for all of you watching, if you want to keep up on this great advice every week, like and subscribe below. And if you want to take a deeper look at these stories, click on the playlist below. And we'll see you next time.